Welcome back into Sports Blitz. This is the 10th and final episode of Sports Blitz for the 2024 season, as always, alongside Jack Webb and Doug Banks. I am Tyler Cruz. We are brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Fellas, it's been a fun season. It's been a long season, but it went by quick. Our time together has come to a close. Times fly, don't they?
We said RIP to the shorts a while ago. Tonight we definitely did. I was in the full winter jacket today.
Yeah, it did go by so quick. It doesn't feel like we're already in playoffs, so we're already looking for, state championships next week. It's incredible.
Yeah, and some regional finals too next week. So every single class is in at least those regional semis heading into tonight. Let's roll the black brackets, starting with Class A. Portland and Wyndham going at it in the first round. Lewiston is hosting Bangor. That's that 2-3 matchup. And that's where we will start. Let's head down to Don Roof Field in Lewiston. The Blue Devils beat Bangor just 10-7 in the regular season. Let's see what's in store tonight with a trip to the regional finals at stake. We pick it up in the second quarter. 4th and 8 for Bangor, and it's a reverse. Trey Tennant winds up with it. He gets all the way around the defense, and he puts the Rams at the goal line. Nice job to get a few extra yards on the hit. Next play, it's the big fella quarterback Kyle Johnson takes the keeper into the end zone, 6-0. Bangor. That is straight bully ball right there. When you're a quarterback that big, you got to play bully ball. Ensuing drive, the Rams defense flushes Jeffrey Randall from the pocket. He tries to throw it away, falls short of the line of scrimmage. That's intentional grounding in the end zone. That's a safety for the Bangor Rams. Next drive, Zach Cota makes a great interception across the middle, and he takes it back. The Rams go on to win this one 22-14.
Let's move on down to Class B now. You got number 1 Falmouth with the bye week, taking on Mescalonsky. Sorry, they had the bye week last week. 3 Lawrence and Coney at the bottom of the bracket down there, and that's where we're going to go in this one. We'll start with the 2 and 3 matchup down in Augusta. The Coney Rams hosting the Lawrence Bulldogs. The Rams took the regular season matchup at home as well, and this was a meeting of 2 just blue chip main programs. We pick it up in the second quarter. Preston Roy takes a handoff, makes a man miss right there, goes all the way down the sideline, somehow is still going. A few plays later, though, it'd be Austin Bucknam who gets through the line of scrimmage and takes down Roy right there in the backfield. A big play for the Rams trying to make a stop, get him behind in the sticks. Then it's 3rd and 22. Lawrence decides to run the ball, but then Colton Carter breaks through the line of scrimmage, barely gets touched on his way to the end zone. The Lawrence Bulldogs pick up a win 28-18. They'll travel down to Falmouth next week.
So will it be Messalonsky or Falmouth taking on the Bulldogs? Eagles trying to hand the Navigators their first loss. Second quarter, the Navs up 6-0. They flip to Giovanni Jarrett, who turns the corner and then turns on the Jets for the touchdown. This score right here will put Falmouth up 13-0. And a little celebration, too. Why not?
Yeah, when you break off a run like that.
Might as well. Next drive for the Eagles, quarterback Tatum Doucette, scrambling out of trouble, makes some moves with his legs, and finds a wide-open Hayden Pierce, 40 yards. Messalonsky on the board, down 13-7. Now, let's move to late in the first half. Falmouth's Peter Kearns drills home a 27-yarder. Navs would go on to win big, 51-7.
Big second half there for Falmouth. All right, a lot to talk about here. Portland taking down Wyndham tonight. So the A and B regional finals are set. Jack, you were in Lewiston and you were in Augusta tonight. Putting a lot of miles on those cars. Anything stand out to you?
Hey, Doug, first off, sorry to ruin your tease right there. That's on me. But it was a massive win for the Bangor Rams. And I know I've mentioned it so many times on this show this year, but we got to bring it back to the summer. The Rams dedicated themselves in the offseason to summer work, 6 a.m. workouts. And that didn't go their way early. And that's very frustrating when you spend your summer getting up, going through those grueling workouts. And one of those losses in the early season was to this Lewiston team where the Bangor Rams, all straight up say it, blew it at the end of the game early in the season. But that's why you put the work in the summer. It paid off tonight, and I'm so happy for these guys. They got to exercise those demons and just feel good and feel like they put in all that time, all those hours for a reason.
Yeah, I think that's 5 straight wins for them, too. So certainly rolling at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this Lawrence squad, I think the key to beating Falmouth is going to be with their 2 horses in Colton, let me scramble my notes here. Colton Carter and Preston Roy. Sorry about that, fellas. That's how you beat a team like Falmouth. They're so explosive, you got to control the time of possession.
Yeah, and handing the ball off on 3rd and 22 shows a lot of guts. That reminds me of, I forget the year, but the Vikings and Adrian Peterson, the year he almost broke the Dickerson record. I mean, they were handing off to him on 3rd and 10 and then 4th down 2, and it works for them. I mean, their offensive line can create some big holes. I think physicality is what won this game for Lawrence. We've seen them all year with the same playbook, and it worked out for them tonight.
Yeah, he's a strong runner, but he's also a fast runner, too, which, I mean, 3rd and 22, it's versatile. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you love to have a guy that you can hand the ball off to down 3rd and 20. That makes everything easier. When we come back, still a lot of stuff to get to. Our 8-man Small North Championship game. And will the Herman Hawks punch their ticket to the Class C North Finals? Stay with us. Welcome back to Sports Blitz. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Tyler Cruz here with Jack Webb and Doug Banks. We are in Week 10, still brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Most regional finals next week. Still a few more matchups to get to, fellas. How are we doing?
Not too bad so far. Not too bad. Jack, all is forgiven with,
I appreciate
that a
it.
little
Yeah,
bit.
again, that's on me. We almost made it. We almost made the last episode, no blemishes, but we're going to finish strong.
I was not paying attention at all, which is fair, so it's okay.
We will finish strong. We'll start with some Class C action here, but first, that bracket. Herman taking on Oceanside in the semis. Nokomis and Madomic will play. That is on Saturday, so we'll pick up right there the Herman Hawks in action. After their round 1 bye, they are hosting the Oceanside Mariners. The Hawks dominant in this matchup in the regular season, so what do the Mariners have for them this time around? We're going to pick it up in the first quarter. Hawks up 6, 3rd down in their own end, but Ethan Curtis heaves it up. Griffin Dutton goes up and mosses his defender over the back and brings it down for the first. Later in the drive, end around to Bruce Coulter, the wide receiver. We know he's got speed. He puts it on display, runs all over for the 25-yard score. Hawks up 12-0. Second quarter, Hawks have it again. Curtis hands to Coulter, and Bruce, blinking you'll miss him, Coulter scampers for his second straight score, 18-0 Hawks. Third quarter, Braden Toothaker in under center for Zeb Foster. He airs it out, and that's Foster doing it all for this offense. He makes the grab, dances around for a big gain. Drive goes into Herman territory, 4th and 7. Foster looking to run with it. The Hawks defense swallows him up. Herman heads to the C North Finals, 32-6 is the final.
No action from us from Class D tonight, but the bracket is this. Foxcroft and Old Town meet in the semis, and John Bapst plays Winslow tomorrow on the other end of the bracket.
Now, an 8-man Small, Stearns beating Ellsworth last week, and Holton taking care of Orono. So that's our matchup for that regional final. So, without further ado, who will be representing the North in the 8-man Small state game? Don't spoil it, Jack. Holton Shires trying to avenge their only regular season loss to Stearns Skank. Start of the second corner, Isaiah Irving, have mercy. Dodges all the defenders and on his way, finds open field all the way to the end zone. This will only put them down by 2 points. The Minutemen, however, would return the favor. Cohen Raymond will take the handoff up the right sideline with some help from his blockers.
Oh, great blocking by his wideout.
Sidestep the traffic and will run it in for the touchdown. Now this score will only be 28-20. Next Minutemen possession, however, Cameron Atkinson. I don't know where that came from. Keeps the ball on the option, and once he turns the corner, he turns on the Jets. He'll run this all the way for a touchdown, and the Minutemen will keep on running to state's final, 62-20.
All right, real quick from our other 8-man region, Camden Hills and Mount Ararat met tonight in the large semis, as did Greeley and Lake Region. So we'll check out some scores. Greeley beating Lake Region 40-6. Mount Ararat over Camden Hills 48-12, avenging that loss. Foxcroft Academy moves on to the D North Finals. They will play the winner of John Bapst and Winslow. That is Saturday at 1 p.m. at Winslow. All right, so let's break this down. Millinocket Doug back in action tonight, making the long trek north. What did you see from that 8-man Small title game, and will they be able to take down that powerful Old Orchard Beach offense next week?
Well, powerful to say the least. Old Orchard is a powerful offense, but so is Stearns. They put up 60-plus points tonight. And, you know, a powerful offense is nothing to ignore, but the Minutemen, they're pretty good too. So for those who didn't watch the Minutemen throughout the season, know that if Lucas Pelkey and Cohen Raymond get off on a full head of steam and find open space, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity every time. And with a quarterback like Cameron Atkinson, not Ron Atkinson, who can manipulate a defense with both his arm and his ability to keep the ball himself and make plays on the ground, if those three can get in a rhythm early, then they could be a dangerous team. And speaking of finding open space, Jack, that can't happen without the O-line. What I saw were big runs tonight were linemen who never stopped moving downfield. Sometimes you'll see an O-line who stops and looks at the ball once it's past the line of scrimmage, but the Minutemen blockers scrape the D-line and then continue to contain the linebackers in the secondary. And if they play like this against Old Orchard next week, then, you know, they could bring the chip back up 95 to Millinocket.
I'm talking about, Doug. Some love for the big fellas.
Anytime.
You like seeing the big guys get into the secondary. We've seen both of those teams a number of times. I want to talk about the Herman Hawks. Remember the controversial comments Gerard Mayo made a few weeks ago saying his team wasn't tough and that a tough team is one that can run and stop the run? Well, if that's the criteria, then the Herman Hawks are one of the toughest football teams in Maine. I love their three-headed monster out of the backfield with Max and Sam Hopkins. Those are your more traditional running backs. Bruce Coulter, the a wideout. They use him a lot as well in the ground game. Griffin Dutton and Ethan Curtis have been making plays through the air all year. And then on defense, Oceanside is primarily a running offense, and everyone knows that. You have Zeb Foster, you have a couple running backs that you use, but that offense ran for 40 points last week in the quarterfinals and just 6 points tonight, and that came in garbage time after going down 25-0. So that's a credit to the guys up front on Herman for both sides of the ball, their offensive line and defensive line. A lot of the times, probably the same kids at the high school level, too. So that is where they win the ball in the trenches. It's going to be fun to see what they do to either Madomic or Nokomis next week.
Yeah, Tyler, just to chime in here, one of my first experiences with covering football this year was that Herman-Bap scrimmage at the beginning of the year. I was so impressed. My takeaway from that was just a gritty bunch of kids, and they've certainly proved it this whole season.
Yeah, that's been their style every year, and it's really, this might be one of the best Herman teams I've had in my time here, just in terms of playing to that style of play and being successful with it. They have been fun to watch. It's been a fun season. We got one more block coming up. Still to come is our play of the week and our final thoughts. Everyone, stay with us. Into Sports Blitz. Almost time to say goodbye to Sports Blitz, not for the week, not for the night, but for the season. Tyler Cruz, Jack Webb, Doug Banks here, presented by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Yes, almost the end for us, but of course, we save time for the play of the night. This one is going to take us back to Herman. Hawks leading Oceanside in the first, backed up in their own end. We all saw this. They need a chunk play. Look at Griffin Dutton going up over the defender to get this ball from Ethan Curtis. Kind of pins it on his back and keeps possession going to the ground. We'll check it out in slow-mo. The freshman has impressed all season.
He's
Tonight
a freshman?
is no different. He is a freshman, Doug.
That's just disrespectful. Respect your elders, man. Come on.
I don't know what grade the cornerback was in, but that's a very
That's
good
fair.
point. It's nice to have a freshman that you can go to on a third down like that.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, that athleticism and that poise from a freshman, that just means you're a gamer. If you're a freshman making a play like that, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, pretty sure you also had an interception earlier in the game tonight that I missed. I mean, just doing it all over the place. Yeah. All right, fellas, not a lot of time left in the Blitz season. We've teased that multiple times. I'll start with the final thoughts, though. It's been my pleasure doing this fall with you guys. Millinocket Doug, you put a lot of miles on those news cars. Jack, you were all over the place going down to Lewiston tonight. You're only as good as the team you have. You guys have made this season a lot of fun every Friday night, so thank you both.
Well, thank you for having me on here, being just a regular old news
Jack's got no
reporter.
choice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jack, it's a pleasure working with you as well, man. I mean, you've really come into your own as just a sports guy in general, and just to work alongside you here it's been pretty great.
I appreciate it. That's my final thoughts. Thank you guys for kind of showing me the ropes, and this is my first Sports Blitz. Hopefully not the last. Hopefully we did a good enough job where we're going to come back for the next season.
I don't think they're firing us. We also have a couple more weeks, and then we get to basketball, too. All right, that is going to be all for tonight's news. That's going to be all for us this season from Sports Blitz. Of course, we'll have coverage throughout the year until the season ends, but this is the last big show from us, so a big sign-off. Everybody have a wonderful night, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you around.